Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another life lesson video facilitated by ChildLine. My name is Aaron George, one of ChildLine's outreach officers, and today we're going to talk a little bit about social comparison. Before I actually jump straight into the topic, I just want to give you all a little quote that I think is very much in line with our topic for today, which is social comparison. And the quote is by Theodore Roosevelt, and it says, "Comparison is the thief of all joy." And let me tell you, that is absolutely true. When you compare yourselves to people, it can potentially have benefits and it can also have disadvantages associated with it. So we're just going to talk a little bit about what that might be. And as always, you're free to comment, like, share, repost the video as much as possible. So it is very natural and normal for all of us as human beings to, at one point or the other, compare ourselves to other people. And in psychology, there is a term that we use generally. It will be either upward comparison or downward comparison. Upward comparison is when you compare yourself to someone who you think might be a little bit better than you, or comparing yourself to someone who is surpassing your expectations or the level that you think you are at. And then downward comparison is where you compare yourself to someone that you think is inferior to you, or somebody who isn't as intelligent as you, or they're not as smart as you, or you as the individual, you're performing better than that person. um, just to put it into perspective, let's say you are the student in a classroom performing. You had an exam to write and you probably scored 50% on the exam, right? If you decide to engage in comparison with another person, it could really and truly affect how you feel about the 50%. So you got 50% in the exam and you decided to compare yourself to a person who got 30%. More than likely, you're going to feel a little good about yourself because, hey, I did better than the person who got 30%. I did better than Sandra. She got 25%. Look, that one got only 2% in the exam. I got 50%. So you might be feeling good about yourself. On the other side of that, if you compare yourself to the person who, let's say, got 80%, it could possibly evoke a lot of negative emotions or negative feelings from you. You may think that, all right, maybe I didn't perform well enough. Maybe there's something I could have done a little better. Maybe I should have put in a little more time studying. Where did I go wrong? Is it that I'm dumb? Is it that I'm not smart enough? What's really going on? And keeping in mind, it's normal for us to compare ourselves to people because you want to understand, generally speaking, where you fall in relation to everyone else. But what's most important is we sometimes forget to compare ourselves to the person who it really matters to ourselves. We forget to compare ourselves to ourselves. And what do I mean? You will ask yourself in this exam, how did Tom do? Or how did Jerry Ann do? Or how did Harry do? But you're not asking yourself, how did I do the last time I performed a test or I had a test to write? You don't ask yourself those questions. And because you don't ask yourself those questions, you rob yourself of an opportunity to learn something very, very important about yourself. At the end of the day, we want to try our best to break the habit of feeling insecure, envious, or discontented with the life that you have. And keeping in mind, if you continue to compare yourself to persons who are worse off than you are, what you're going to do is give yourself a false sense of hope. You might get very comfortable where you're at. 50%, that's no problem at all. I could manage with 50%. At least I'm performing at the top of my class. If you compare yourself, however, to the person who may be making 80%, what it could do is it could possibly damage your self-esteem, and it could deter you from actually wanting to continue your academic pursuits because you're thinking, maybe I'm not performing at the level that I should be performing at. Keeping in mind, comparison is the thief of all joy. The only person that you should be comparing yourself to is the person that you were yesterday, or the person that you were this morning, or the person that you were an hour ago. Because the only person that you really should be trying to compare and improve yourself in relation to is yourself. It is yourself, and it is very difficult for us, even though on a very subconscious level, we engage in the comparison almost every single day. And I just want to urge you, think about somebody or a situation where you compared yourself to them. Who do you compare yourself to, and why do you compare yourself to this person? Is it that when I compare myself to this person, I feel good about myself? Maybe because I'm doing better than them? Or am I comparing myself to someone that I want to be like, somebody I think is doing way better than me? And each one can come with its pros and its cons, but at the end of the day, it's going to be up to you, the person, to decide how you deal or how you manage with the comparisons. If you're scrolling through Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or any of those social media platforms, you may be sitting down at home looking at people pose up in their homes with nice background, or maybe by the pool drinking fancy juice or whatever they may be drinking, who knows. And you feeling like, if but wait a minute, I'm stuck at home, I don't even have a job, I'm not able to exercise the way that I want to exercise, I don't have family to support me the way that other people have family to support them. And that can really and truly rob us of a bit of joy that might actually be priceless. So this video is being done to remind you of a few things that you all can probably do to end that comparison. Number one, you want to be mindful of the triggers, or be aware of what makes you feel like if you need to compare yourself to other people. Think about the situations that will encourage the comparison game between you and others. Keep in mind, this whole thing about comparison is like an age old war. This is something that's older than humanity. People have been comparing themselves to others for a very, very, very long time. Now is the time to focus on comparing yourself to who you will, because that's really and truly all that you have within your control. So you want to be mindful of those things. Ask yourself, is this particular person on my timeline constantly posting things that makes me feel inferior about my life? And if they are, block, delete, unfriend. You have to find ways to remove those energies from your life so that you don't necessarily get caught up in the things that come with the comparison, because sometimes you spend hours scrolling through social media, and for what? For what? There's no benefit from it besides finding out what other people doing, or getting, yes, it might have one or two little educational articles in the mix here, but for the greater part, it usually is a platform where you're allowed to compare yourself to other people. It might be the number of likes that you're looking at, number of views on a video, number of shares that a person get, how many followers they may have on Instagram. You want to try your best to avoid all those things, and it starts with knowing what your triggers would be. Also, you want to remind yourself that other people's outside cannot be compared to your inside. Outward appearances, especially on social media, sometimes they're very, very carefully curated. And people's reality online may not be the reality in the real world. And we fail to remember that sometimes. We think that what people post out there is be all and end all. No, people carefully take time to put together their profiles or to make their lives appear a particular way, when in reality it may not be that way. So always keep that in mind. And if ever you feel like you're falling into the comparison game, get a little mantra that you could probably repeat, like, for example, money doesn't buy happiness, or I just want to be better than I was yesterday. Something that will motivate you from within, that will allow you, the individual, to make yourself better, because you want to be better for you and not necessarily someone else. And one of the biggest things that you could ever do to help with comparisons is simply being happy with and contented with what you have. When you sit and you think about all the things that you don't have, you can literally spend your entire life thinking about it, wasting time just thinking about what you don't have, and not actually using that time to appreciate the things that you do have. And it's unfortunate that we waste time, let's say, for example, comparing the sun and comparing the moon, but we fail to realize that in the day, both the sun and the moon, they have their time to shine. And there's no need to compare the two. There's no need to compare the two. Some people may like the night, some people may like the day, but guess what? Night and day is going to come, and at the end of it all, you need to be mindful that you only need to compare yourself to who you were yesterday. Every minute that you spend wishing that you had someone else's life is a minute that you spend wasting yours. I'm begging you, don't waste your life comparing what you have to other people. Yes, you might feel very inclined to, and it is human, so don't beat yourself up for it whenever it happens. But know that it's not something that you must do all the time, because you could be damaging yourself. You could be hurting yourself in the long run. What you want to do is ask yourself, what did I do yesterday, and how can I do a little bit more of that today? Once it's something positive, of course. And if it's something negative, what did I do yesterday that I could probably try and do differently so that the outcome is going to be different for me today? Always keep that in mind. But when you compare yourself to people, you are stealing your joy. So that was the little video for today. Don't waste your time comparing the sun and the moon, like I said, because each one of them, they have their time to shine. And you, my friends, you also will have your time to shine. It's not that only one person could be successful. There's enough success for every single person to go around. It's up to you to decide here what I'm going to take myself on that journey, and I'm not going to compare myself to other people along the way. If you do have to compare yourself to other people, let it be in such a way that you are comparing yourself to move forward, or you want that inspiration, that little extra push to keep you going the extra mile. But be careful of the negative comparisons that you may have that could stunt your growth, or that could make you feel like if you're just stuck and that life is meaningless, because that is definitely not the case. Your life has value, your life has worth, your life has meaning, and if I could see it, why can't you? Yeah? Always keep that in mind. Your life is important, and only person that you need to be better than is who you were yesterday, this morning, today. Always strive to be better. And always keep in mind, if you need a little extra motivational push, ChildLine's helpline is there for you all. You can call, look, the phone numbers right here behind me. 131-800-4321. It's free to call at any point in time. It's available 24/7, and turn on your post notification so that you could see the upcoming videos that we have, and do enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks very much for watching. Please share, like, comment, the works. Bang bang. Thanks very much.